bring a special law against lynching. The Supreme Court tells the government, calls the mob violence against Dalits and minorities horrendous acts of mobocracy.
To say it one time again, and I say it all the time, there was no collusion.
US President Donald Trump is under fire for his comments defending Russia on election interference allegations. And you may have exchanged your first instant messages with friends and family on Yahoo Messenger, but the app logged off for the last time. It's Wednesday, July 18th. The buck stops with you. In effect, this is what the Supreme Court has told the centre and state governments on a petition seeking the court's directions on cow vigilantism and lynchings. Describing the killings as horrendous acts of mobocracy, the Supreme Court urged Parliament to enact a separate law to deal with the offence of lynching. This, the court believes, will instill the fear of the law in perpetrators. Issuing a series of directions to the centre and states, the Supreme Court sought preventive, remedial and punitive measures for lynching. The centre and states have to implement the order within 4 weeks and file a compliance report. The petitioners had submitted a list of at least 70 incidents, mostly enabled by vigilante groups across states, wherein the petition said members of religious minorities, particularly Muslims and caste groups such as Dalits, have primarily been made targets in the name of cow protection. The Supreme Court in its judgment said, states cannot become deaf against growing rumblings. Pluralism of the country must be preserved. This is still a society that champions civil rights. The Supreme Court on Tuesday said it would strike down Section 377 of the Indian Penal Code, the law that criminalizes homosexuality, if it is convinced that it violates fundamental rights. Responding to an intervener's suggestion that any redrafting of the section should be left to Parliament, Justice Rohinton Nariman said, "The moment we are convinced there is a violation of any fundamental right, we will strike it down and not leave it to the legislature. The whole object of fundamental rights is to give the court the power to strike down laws which a majoritarian government, swung by votes, will not touch. We don't wait for majoritarian governments to strike down the offending law." So, will the law criminalizing homosexuality be struck down? We are likely to know soon. The Supreme Court has reserved its judgment in the matter after hearing arguments. Earlier on Tuesday, Justice Nariman referred to the torture Alan Turing was subjected to. He said, "You see how Alan Turing, the popular English mathematician and also a computer scientist, committed suicide after he was chemically castrated. Chemical castration, where gay men are administered estrogen to lower libido, is something World War II mathematician Alan Turing suffered through. It was only earlier this month that the United Kingdom announced a complete ban on conversion therapy. Prevalent across the world, conversion therapy includes methods employed by medical or pseudo-medical professionals to quote-unquote cure lesbian, gay or bisexual individuals of their sexual preference. These range from pseudo-psychological treatments to, in extreme cases, surgical interventions, even corrective rape. US President Donald Trump's remarks in a joint press conference with his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin in Helsinki has sparked a firestorm in Washington. Trump refused to blame Putin for the latter's alleged meddling in the 2016 US election, in the process casting doubt on the findings of his own intelligence agencies. Trump's own party has distanced itself from the position taken by the US president.
Just now, President Putin denied having anything to do with the election interference in 2016. Every U.S. intelligence agency has concluded that Russia did. My first question for you, sir, is who do you believe?
I have great confidence in my intelligence people, but I will tell you that President Putin was extremely strong and powerful in his denial today. To say it one time again, and I say it all the time, there was no collusion. I didn't know the president. There was nobody to collude with.
MSN shut down in 2014. AOL gave up in 2017. If you remember these names, you'll also remember Yahoo Messenger with its purple icon, the public chat rooms with colorful font options, and those Yahoo avatars you could customize. Well, today is our first day in the world post the iconic messenger, as parent company Oath pulls the plug. Launched in 1998 as Yahoo Pager, the instant messaging app rebranded to Yahoo Messenger in 1999. In 2006, it integrated with Microsoft, but as new apps emerged, struggling in the face of competition, it shut its chat rooms in 2012 and then sold to Verizon for $4.5 million in 2017, a fraction of its earlier worth of $125 billion. If you have a Yahoo ID, you can still use it for other products, Yahoo Mail and Yahoo Fantasy, and you have 6 months to download your chat history. It's been a good 20 years. But here's Yahoo now, logging out once and for all. You log out too, but do log back in for your morning fix tomorrow.